Hi, this is Aaron Friedman, and I'm going to talk through the Friday slate for today. We've been getting some pretty good Friday slates, and I'm excited to see Miami. Except for this game, basically, they're in their own window. We've been getting some good quasi island games this year. So, okay. Um, we have Miami, who's by far the best team on the slate. Virginia Tech actually has a pretty low implied team total, but I think a lot of it's off of how bad they've been. And I like the Virginia Tech guys in props, and I'll probably try to get a lot of exposure because people are down on them. Um, let's go to Draftkings, and I can walk through some of the player cards. Okay. All right. So as it's loading, let me go back to our domination station. So the quarterbacks aren't tremendous this week, or this slate. So it is possible to do a running back in Superflex just because there's limited options. Drones isn't projecting well, but that's kind of what I'm hinting at. I'll probably boost him to make sure that I'm getting a good amount of exposure. And then, I mean, I think he can get to 18 or 19 at a minimum. Like, that isn't too much to ask for. um, Kelly McManus is a little interesting. I mean, it's like, do you really want to go there at Superflex? But I probably will a little bit. And then running backs loaded. Martinez is a stud. Um, Monanganai or whatever. He led the Big Ten in rushing last year. And then Jonah Coleman, I like a lot given what I perceive as the game script. Okay, now that DraftKings is up, let's look at a few things. So Drones has really struggled this year, but um last year he was awesome, and he still has a lot of upside. He should be highly motivated because Drones and Cam Ward, they have the same coach, which is kind of interesting. Oh, they're cousins. They're I knew they had the same training partner, like a same quarterback coach, but I didn't realize that they're cousins too. That's kind of cool. So there's things like that, anecdotal, that matter a lot in college sports when they're kids. That differ from the NFL, in my opinion. Um, okay, so back to our DraftKings card. Um, Kelly McManus is kind of so my top three quarterbacks, I think, are Ward, Drones, and Kelly McManus. Kelly McManus isn't amazing, but he's not going to do nothing either. I kind of like him as a just a GPP option. My problem with Rodgers is he's losing work over time. Like, last week against Northwestern, he only had 28 attempts, and the work for Damon Williams keeps rising. So he's getting like 5-6 snaps a game. So I'm concerned about him losing or Williams gaining more work, and it's already going to be a tough matchup for Washington with how good Rutgers has been. So running back's kind of loaded. As we mentioned, Tuden scored in every game. Where are the touchdowns? Yeah, he keeps scoring in every game. Coleman I like a lot. Martinez, I think Miami's kind of loaded at running back, but I think now that they're in ACC play, Martinez will get more work. Receiver, the nice thing is there's guys at every price point for Miami. Restrepo, the WR1. Horton's like a big 6'4" guy. He kind of had a breakout game last week, so even if he's like in between here somehow, I think there's some value to be had. Let's see. I like Horton. Horton shouldn't be cheaper than George, so I think there's some value. Miller is the Monmouth transfer. He was an All-American there, and he's the wide receiver 1, so I think he makes a lot of sense. And then Ali Jennings is he's a really strong play on both sites as long as he's in. He missed last week, but we have to watch warm-ups for him. At least this is the first game, so you should know before lock. So it's a good slate. You know, it's a 2-gamer, so there's going to be a lot of volatility. So let's see kind of what we get here if we do 80% max. Okay, so I ran it 20 lineups with 80% maximum exposure. Yeah, so Martinez is going to be super popular given that he's like the cheapest starting running back. Even with boosting drones, I'm only getting 20%. So I might have to adjust that manually. So you're going to have to like boost Coleman. If you believe one of these two guys is going to outscore Caliac Manis per dollar, then you know it's going to push you to more wide receiver or running backs in the super flex lineups. So I might do that, and then let's make drones because I really think he has the most. Drones has the most upside at Superflex out of anyone. It's just, I mean, are you willing to buy low? Lyle here is interesting if you think it's another game script where Miami just you have to like look at the lineups and think about the game scripts. So Lyle here, so on a 2-game slate with limited options, you're going to have to think about which lineups make sense or boosting guys that may make sense. So if you think Virginia Tech's competitive, this doesn't make sense. But probably our drone stuff is at the bottom. Yeah, this is this one's interesting. A Washington stack. I don't think many people are going to do that. So let's see what we get.
No, we can't have blue. We are going to add red this time.
So I like Jennings a lot too. I think he's, as long as he's playing, I think he's a core play for me. So we'll see how that goes. I'll probably, just because there's so many wide receivers, I don't know if I want to go 80%. But let's move over to Fanduel. Let me get Fanduel started and then I'll. I don't know if anyone's played Pick6, but I kind of like the format a lot. The only bad thing is you can't switch between the sites. Like you can't do half MLB, half college, or it's stuck to a specific slate. But they do like a bunch of correlation stacking that other things don't let you do. So if you think drones is good drones, then I like this over a lot. I like Coleman because I think it's like a classic Big Ten game where the running backs do really well. Restrepo's kind of high, so I like Thornton as the wide receiver too. And then I think this is a good number for Miller. And then I'm on Jennings just because he's either going to play or crush or he's going to be out again. So yeah, the peer-to-peer nature is kind of interesting with the Pick6 platform. So this is what these are some of my favorite plays, and you can kind of take them over to Underdog or Prize Picks. Let's see if, okay. Underdog's nice because they have more markets. Let's see, like Will Rogers, I like. This is also on Prize Picks, but I like under his pass attempts because if he's ceding work to Williams, then I think if he's ceding work to Williams, then it's going to be hard to hit his pass attempts. Oh, they're not even offering, or are they offering the lower? So I don't know. I'd probably go. That's the hard thing. I'd probably stay away from him now. But I like Underdog at fantasy points. I like the over on drones. I like if Martinez finds the end zone, which I think he can do, and this is kind of implying he will, then he should shatter the fantasy points. Let's look back at Fanduel. So even though Ward's crazy expensive. The price isn't bad. Just because he was only 12,000 on the main slate, so on a 2-gamer for him to be 12,800 genuinely isn't bad. So a lot of the 4 guys, um, still because the projections like Kaliak Manis, which is fine, you're gonna get a lot of Kaliak Manis. You're gonna get a lot of for Miami lineups. I'll probably make Corden like 10 and George boosting down. And then because of my stance on Jennings, I'm gonna boost him up a lot, and that should change a lot. And then once this is done, I think I'll wrap up. But yeah, it should be a fun slate. We've been getting these great island games where you can see Miami, Cam Ward, who's the current Heisman favorite, and not have you don't have to worry about missing Cam Ward when there's a bajillion games on Saturday going on. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot of work to get drones go. Or no, drones is here. Sorry. So made drones my QB2, still giving me Calic Manis. Yeah, I'm fine with these. So yeah, wish everyone good luck today. Have a great weekend. Enjoy all the games.
They're gonna help me fix